When your closest economic ally starts acting like your biggest trade rival, what do? For decades, Japan and the United States shared one of the most successful industrial partnerships in modern history, anchored by millions of jobs, billions in investment, and a shared stake in global stability. But that alliance has now been rattled. Tariffs, nationalism, uncertainty. And caught in the middle, Japanese automakers Toyota, Honda, and Nissan, who not only dominated US roads but helped build the American manufacturing base itself. Today we unpack the fallout of US tariffs on foreign-made cars and how they have not only blindsided Japanese companies but also pushed Tokyo into the arms of China and Southeast Asia. This is more than just about cars. This is a warning shot for America's global economic leadership. Before we dive in, if you are finding this topic relevant and eye-opening, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with someone who cares about the future of global trade and economic power. It helps us keep making deep dive content like this. Japanese automakers aren't foreign invaders in the US economy. They are embedded pillars. Toyota, Honda, and Nissan collectively produce nearly a third of all vehicles on American roads. But here is the kicker. Most of these cars aren't imported. They are made right here in the US by American workers in American towns. In fact, by 2023, over 3.2 million vehicles were built by Japanese automakers inside the United States. These companies employ more than 400,000 Americans directly across 29 manufacturing plants and 34 R&D centers, include suppliers and dealerships, and the number rises to over 2.2 million jobs. That's not just business. That's economic lifeblood. And they are not pulling back either. Toyota's $13.9 billion battery plant in North Carolina is set to employ over 5,000 people. Honda and Nissan are racing toward EV leadership. This wasn't just a trade partnership, it was an industrial marriage. But then came the shock. A sudden 25% tariff on imported automobiles framed as a patriotic push to bring manufacturing back home. The intention? Protect US jobs. The result? Punish companies already building cars in America. Most of the cars hit by this move weren't made in China. They were made under the legal framework of NAFTA and USMCA. They were foreign only in branding, not in practice. And this wasn't just a policy disagreement, it was a message. The US was willing to damage long-standing partnerships for domestic applause. Years of coordination, trust, and shared prosperity upended with a single stroke of a pen. Japan didn't retaliate with tariffs or boycotts. That's not how Tokyo operates. Instead, they responded with efficiency. Within days of the tariff announcement, Japanese automakers began adjusting production strategies. Nissan cut output at its Kyushu plant. Toyota expanded in Thailand. Mazda pivoted to EVs in Southeast Asia. These weren't panicked reactions. They were years in the making contingency plans designed precisely for this kind of political disruption. Japan had seen the signs since the first tariff salvos in 2018 and planned accordingly. It raises a powerful question. Can any country, even a close ally, trust the United States as a stable trade partner? What do you think? Is this a smart economic strategy or short-term politics with long-term costs? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We really want to hear your take on this one. As Japanese firms began shifting out of the US, Southeast Asia quickly emerged as the new frontier. Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia are no longer just outsourcing destinations. They are becoming Japan's strategic manufacturing bases. Mazda's $150 million EV plant in Thailand, Toyota's diversified EV production across 5 Asian countries, Honda's deeper integration into Vietnam. The shift is real and it's growing. But perhaps the most telling move, Toyota's $2 billion EV facility in Shanghai. In partnership with China, once viewed with caution, Japan sent a message. When your ally turns its back, your rival becomes a business partner. The auto industry is just the canary in the coal mine. Japan is now doubling down on trade agreements that exclude the US, the CPTPP, deeper ASEAN ties, and high-tech partnerships with India. Trust in Washington's leadership has been shaken, and the consequences are compounding. America, meanwhile, is facing a slow erosion, not dramatic, not immediate, but steady. New factories aren't being built, future models aren't being assigned, and entire communities that once thrived on Japanese investment are being left behind. As the US withdraws inward, China is expanding outward. Beijing is offering incentives to Japanese and Korean firms, tax breaks, infrastructure access, and the vast promise of the Chinese market. This isn't just about cars, it's about global influence. China is actively building a regional economic bloc, one where the US is not only absent, but increasingly irrelevant. For Japan and South Korea, this is an uncomfortable balancing act. Security remains tethered to Washington, but trade is slowly tilting toward Beijing. Washington's leadership may have underestimated just how quickly alliances can unravel when trust is replaced with suspicion. Economic nationalism can rally a base, but it can also fracture partnerships that took decades to build. If the US continues down this path, countries like Japan, South Korea, and even Vietnam may have no choice but to forge new coalitions. Not because they want to abandon America, but because they can't afford to depend on a partner that's unpredictable. The danger here isn't just economic, it's strategic, and it's already unfolding. The unraveling of the US-Japan Auto Alliance is more than a trade story. It's a warning. When trust becomes transactional, allies become uncertain. And in the world of global supply chains, uncertainty is fatal. As Japan rewrites its industrial map, the US faces a critical decision: double down on nationalism or re-engage with the global system it once led. The cost of choosing wrong, it's already visible in factories that aren't being built, partnerships that are quietly fading, and rivals who are filling the void. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis valuable, please give it a like, subscribe for more deep dive content, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Your support keeps this channel going strong.